39, drunk at Disorderlies 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 39, 39, 39, 39, 39, drunk at Disorderlies. All right.
Welcome to episode Karim 16.
16.
Holy
Whoa.
crow!
Wow,
we
we're
got
If you are listening to these in order, maybe you're not. Maybe
We're getting up there. We're getting up there.
Yeah,
it's
That's good.
it's getting through its adolescence now. Yeah.
right. Who's
Pretty soon I'll be 21 years old.
We're here at 1830. Who's been to a live taping before? Make some noise.
Yeah.
Make noise in whatever way you know how.
You gotta clap loud because you guys don't have mics. There you go. There's people here.
I guess we're just singling out Florentina, who's
Right. We got international today.
She's the only one who hasn't been.
We got only Florentina from Romania is here.
That's okay. We're really good
Yeah.
for first timers.
Yeah.
You know, we'll ease you into it. This whole 39DD experience.
Oh, this is so good. I got to explain this to you. So
Right.
we've learned that Florentina was who we say she's Romanian. You were born in Romania, right? But you live here now. Oh, wow, we're going straight to the audience mic. Huge,
Really?
Jim. This has never happened before. This is always a later
This
thing.
is not easy on the first one.
No, this is
Oh, it's great. It's great.
This is
Yeah,
great.
yes,
We're like,
it is.
This is your initiation.
It's not
So
easy at all.
we found out Florentina was strolling down the street. I'm going to explain how you
Okay.
came here tonight because it's
Yeah.
very
That's a good
serendipitous.
story, you know, yeah.
She was walking down the street. Where do you think she was going? To the LCBO.
Yeah,
To get what?
that applies.
Alcohol. She's
That
like, I'm going to
applies.
buy some alcohol. She gets there. LCBO is closed at 9. It was a holiday, right?
Civic
On a
holiday,
holiday.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Close early on holidays? What kind
Yeah,
of
'cause-
ass backwards system is that?
God forbid you want to drink on your day
That's
off.
not happening in Romania, hey?
No doubt. I believe you. I believe you.
So she wanders back, stumbles across, or you've been to 1830 before, then
Yeah,
you saw
but-
there was a comedy show. So she was just here at the comedy show. She saw Sarah
was like,
Ashby,
okay.
Jason Allen, and Noor Hadidi.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing show. Make some noise if
Really
you were here
good,
for that show
yeah.
earlier. Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
It wasn't, but it was amazing.
So you were on your way to find alcohol on a
Not
holiday.
alcohol, I just wanted to have a beer.
Okay.
She said,
That
alcohol.
is-
alcohol.
Darling,
Just
darling, that
a
really
beer.
that is alcohol. I know it. I didn't teach that in Romania. Like in
That's
Romania,
a-
it's not.
no,
Like you
it's-
don't go
it's not
blind. It's not
something. It's not
alcohol. Is that what we're
vodka,
saying
you know?
here?
It's not vodka.
beer.
Right. It's not vodka, so it's not alcohol. Yes. Then I have never been drunk, except for that time on vodka.
Mm.
Never mind.
And
Never
then
mind.
now you've stumbled onto a podcast about drinking
Yes,
and this sort of.
Yeah.
I should have stayed in house watching Black Mirror. Look where I am
That's
now.
genius. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our stunning act of, you know, don't listen to our podcast. Just stay home and watch Black Mirror. Okay?
Otherwise, you'll end up in a Black Mirror episode where
Yeah,
it's
at a podcast.
serendipitously-
Mhm.
Right. Maybe
See.
you're in a Black Mirror
Maybe.
episode.
Maybe that's happening
now.
right now. Your twin's going to come out of the bathroom and accuse you of stealing their child. It's going to be weird.
Right. But we are expecting you after tonight
I've never
to
seen
go
Black
back to
Mirror. I don't know yet.
Romania.
Maybe that's
You're gonna
totally
be
off the cuff.
the person in charge of our Romanian fan club, and you're gonna spread this across Romania. Okay?
Sure, I will.
Yeah,
do
she
that.
said it. That's a legal contract. If
Yeah.
you say things on a podcast, it's a legal contract.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we're really glad you're here. We're really
Yes,
glad
thank
you're
you.
here.
All of that
Nice
just to
meeting
say
you
thank
guys.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Welcome.
You're just getting to know us. Getting to know
Nice.
you. It's going to get better. It's gonna get
Should
better.
we take her off the spot now
Yes,
that she's
please.
had the
Yes,
thank
please.
you.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
Eventually, we'll have an audience camera, but
We
So-
got to make sure we have waivers.
Vodka, I
first.
don't know
Oh,
that
yeah,
much
it gets
about.
sloppy.
I've always been a whiskey beer man myself, and I guess vodka is one of those things. It's a dangerous liquor, right? Because if it's cold enough, it doesn't really taste like anything.
it's more like a syrup.
Yeah, it's an additive to life. You know what I mean? Like it just changes everything. Now maybe like vodka in Romania is different. Like maybe I don't know, they put more gasoline in it or something. But it's different, you know. Like it's boom. But here it's like I don't know, like. Just seems expensive for no
There's
flavor.
just so many types. Like there's just so many like variations of
Anything that comes with Mandarin already in it, I just assume is a liqueur. You know?
Mandarin.
Yeah,
What's that?
it's a fruit, like an orange,
And
Mandarin,
Like a
And-
Christmas orange.
and they put them in vodka now.
Really?
Yes.
Is this common knowledge?
If you've been to a liquor store in the last 10 years,
Come on, Pull the room.
Guys,
Is it common sense?
Whoa, things got heated.
Yeah,
I heard a few yeses.
Sorry, just you got to shop more. That's all.
Right, or I just drink vodka more. I do not.
Well, neither do I. That's why I didn't know that until whatever. That's not the point. That's not the point.
You hear that? It's not the point.
It's not the point, everybody.
Focus.
I don't think me or Trevor know what the point is either. At this point, it's like, yeah, I'm right, you're wrong. Stuff.
We're coming out of turn 1 here
Victory.
in episode 14, and we're piping hot.
At 16.
16. She
And
knows.
and that's where I win this argument right there. Boom.
Yeah. Again, I'll throw up my argument for this being on a Monday night. I told you what you'd get.
I'll give you the cactus of friendship.
Oh, and they are friends again. Guys, give it up for them. Yeah.
Friendship cactus.
Yeah, friendship cactus.
This it sounds like a button that you press. Where
Right.
it's a clap.
I'm pretty sure the guy from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas walked in right here. Look, for real.
Shit.
Oh, he did. Is this Bat Country?
Right.
Bad country.
It's Bat Country.
Totally. What'd you guys do on the weekend? This is a holiday
It's a
weekend.
weekend. I worked.
Okay.
Yeah, I worked.
At a booze can.
I threw a guy into a wild enough chokehold that he was unconscious before I actually locked the choke in.
Wow.
Yeah.
To get
The
to
body
smart kung
slam.
fu
The
guy
body
here.
slam alone put him out, and the lift and squeeze. We have a tap out system at work for chokeholds. Yeah, it's important. You guys,
As
it's
you
important.
do.
It's a safety thing, right? So one of the other guys is watching. We usually, if it goes more than 4 seconds, there's a tap out, right? But I hit this guy like a fucking freight train. Caught him off guard, up under the hip. Boom, picked him up, knocked the wind out of him. By the time I locked in, he was already feet were already drumming. He was out. He was done. So I'm like, I got this guy. Yeah, I'm like, woo. And then I get this. I look over my shoulder at my coworker. He's like, there's no 10-second rule. Just drop him. He's done. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I let him go. And let him go. Yeah. That was a nice way of saying I threw him across the room. So like, done with this. Woo! Looking around for more action. There's nothing. There's a bunch of guys standing around and like, this is why we behave here. Smile and nod at the giant cowboy. Where's his hat? Is it over there? Give it to him quickly. I'm like, everything's fine. I'm not a cowboy. I'm from here. But whatever. Doesn't matter. That's all Sonambula.
What was his infraction?
He got handsy with a girl
Mm.
and then reached back like he was going to, he reached back. Like, I don't know what he's going to do. Whether he's going to, like, wave to someone or slap someone. But it looked kind of like a slap coming, and I wasn't going to find out. It was over.
Nice.
Yep.
That's the law. Don't look stupid. It's easy. Like, you drink your beer, you just stand around, have a good time. Anytime you, like, have your hands in the air and looking like you just don't care, chances are you're going to end up on the street bleeding. That's just the nature of things.
I just feel for that guy because I don't feel for him, but I also feel like of all the people to do that in front of,
Yeah.
it's you. Like
Mistake.
at the end of the night, you're like, "What happened to you last night?" And he's like, "I got handsy with a girl, acted like a fucking idiot, and then I got body slammed by a 7-foot giant." Like, and you weren't in a WWE match? Like, how the fuck did that
This
happen?
is not a grudge match. This is just random.
That's just fucking stupid.
No, the thing is that the guys that I work with are like, they run the gamut from like, ninjutsu instructors to like, old school, like, bikers and things like that. So these guys are all, they're
brutal.
their own combat school, right? It's the whole thing. It's like, so if you're in a place where like, for example, if you can smoke anywhere in the building, that's a good sign. If you're being served liquor at 5 a.m, that's another good sign. If there are people gambling for cash at the pool tables, that's another good sign. And if there's a poker game going on in the corner, you're at a booze can. I mean, that's it. You're not in a bar anymore. You've gone, like, it's dark side. Like, you've gone all the way. Like, you're in a speakeasy. Like, it's, So,
there's a few more things on that checklist.
Right,
I
but
would
because
say.
it's the Wild
Yeah.
West,
Yeah,
because
being
it is
offered
the
drugs
Wild
3 times before you get up the stairs.
That's it. Yeah. You go to the washroom and no one's going to the washroom. They'll just stand there looking paranoid, right? I mean, no, but right away. It's like, the thing is, since it's the Wild West, it is like Deadwood, right? I mean, I can't call the cops. If I have to throw somebody out, I don't have that backup. I can be like, oh, excuse me, officer, this guy's he's a little drunk and disorderly. I'm going to send him out. So could you please pick him up on the sidewalk? No, it's like, you're going to get thunderfucked. Like, that's what's going to happen to you.
That is the official term.
You're gonna play stupid games, and as I always say, you'll win stupid prizes. Right? So on the weekend, I didn't fight the guy. I just put him out really hard, and then someone else carried him away. It wasn't a fight. Fighting involves, like, there was fighting. This wasn't fighting. It was go home quick. Although some girl did fight. And I was really proud of her for it, actually. This guy was sexually harassing her for like an hour. And I kept sort of like doing the wave, like, do you need help? She's like, no. Other guys were like, this girl keeps being bothered by that dude. I'm like, well, she keeps waving us off. I'm like, she seems to be comfortable. I guess it's fine. She walks to the front. She's near the front door. And this guy comes up again. Just unbelievable. Walks up, hand right on her ass. Straight up rude. I don't know exactly what he said, but whatever it was the wrong fucking thing. I guess she already had her hand in her purse, and she already had her keys in her hand, because he learned the hard way that a key doesn't just turn on your Acura. It can also open a hole in the side of your fucking head, which is exactly what happened. She goes, wah! And the guy's like, hey! And he staggers away, and my buddy grabs him and goes, you're hurt, you have to leave. And just like out the door, like, goodbye, because we don't, fuck that. Fuck that, you're stabbed, go home.
Yeah, you're not the Red Cross. Like,
no, there are other
That's
people.
actually the name of the bar. You're stabbed.
You're stabbed, go home. That's right. It's a neon out front. You're stabbed, go home.
I am?
But anyway, and I said to the girl, that was kind of excessive, right? We would have tossed him and stuff. She's like, yeah, but he's got to learn somewhere. And I'm like, well, I guess you know what? You're right. You're right. That was the wrong one. But the best part is my manager started hitting on her right after that. And I was like, man, you like to live dangerously, don't you? Right? And he's just like, you know me, Bob. And I'm like, yeah, I know you. I'm going back to the back, okay? Like, whatever. Keys, whatever happens.
call it
That's
keys.
great. I love the visual of a key to the. My head. I pictured it through his.
Oh,
cheek.
into the mouth hole? Like, no, I don't think it was that dramatic. It sort of glanced off, but it was still a little hole in his face.
In the reenactment, we can make it
Yeah,
look like
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
we want.
In the
He
show.
can lose teeth, and you can see Acura when he opens his mouth, like.
Maybe the key gets stuck in it, and then the alarm goes off, or
Yeah,
something.
Little product
It's
placement.
just like yeah. It's like an Acura sponsors car. If you are a car manufacturer, you want to give us money, and it's your keys stuck in that guy's face. Hit us up at 39DD Show. That was a fucking flawless plug and
It was
call for
great.
the sponsor.
Maybe for your Halloween. Like,
So I wanted to talk about
party.
fire this week.
Fire?
Yeah, fire.
Fire. All right.
We've talked about fire before.
You guys ready
Oh
to
no,
talk
wait,
about
but that was
fire?
outside.
We've talked about fire
Off the
before.
record, we've talked about fire.
So, in all these stories, there's usually the same sort of threads of alcoholism, violence, and rock and roll and women and fun and just sort of like the beach party that never ended from a 1950s movie or something, right? Like just never ended. Just got
Horrible
worse.
injuries. That's a common theme too.
Yeah, but strangely enough, I was talking to my cousin the other day, and she mentioned to me that fire goes way back in the Bob story.
I thought you meant just like in time. I was like, yeah. Like,
Whoa! Thanks for that. Yeah, okay.
yeah, that's where I'm at. Thanks.
Trevor Ketcheson, everybody.
I told
Trevor
you
Ketcheson, everybody.
Monday nights. Yeah.
Still playing with matches. I mean, like, is that where we're at?
And you were like, yeah, fire does go way back. And I never thought of that.
You had me thinking for a second.
So, when I was a kid, my aunt was taking care of us, and she went out to the laundromat just down the street from the place that she was living in, a small town in Ontario. And we decided that we were going to make toaster strudel, for sure, like Pop-Tarts, right? But we only had a toaster oven and didn't know how to use it at all. So we set it to like, I don't know, flambe. Put a couple of toaster strudel in there, and then started playing hide and seek in the backyard, expecting that like any toaster, just go bing and things should be fine. Like toast is up, it gets cold, whatever. They're better that way. They've been warmed up. They're kind of glued, but they're Anyway, so she gets back from the laundromat, and half of it was a sort of a semi-wide mobile home, detached home, was on fire, and we're still standing around like, because what the hell are we gonna do? We're kids, right? We didn't have a fucking idea what the fuck's going on. The place is burning down. We're like, yeah, it's on fire. She pulls up, like, it's Carol. It's like stuff's on fire, and she's like, yeah. And this is before everyone had cell phones, right? So the neighbor's out there on her cordless phone going, I'm home at the fire department, and yeah, she's burning real good, and the guy's on the phone. A few minutes later, volunteer fire service shows up. The guy pulls up, and it's like a 2-man pumper truck, like the size of your average ambulance, And he pulls up and goes, no. She's like, no, she's gone.
She's gone.
So,
and then for the docudrama reenactment, we hear the ding of the toaster oven.
pretty much. Ding. Yeah. Yeah. So that was the beginning of my relationship with fire, like watching things incinerate and stuff like that.
Not a
Which-
bad job to have as a fireman to show up and be like, no, I'm not this one.
Yeah, what a fucking piece of shit fireman. Get the fuck in there. Save my puppy.
Well, yeah, like
Nah.
literally, he's just like, no. He lights a smoke, leans up against the side of things, like,
Yeah.
no, this is not nothing I can do. If we had like 4 more trucks in maybe 6 hours, but
Right.
this total loss.
It's like the medic in Saving Private Ryan where he's like, no, gone. And you're the guy like, what? What do you mean? It's like where he has no legs and arms. He's bleeding out of everything. You're like, no, don't waste your time. On to the next one. That guy needs help. That guy's gone.
So if this is like the X-Men origin story of Bob, then it begins with this
Right.
fire story. This is
No, it's just one of it's one of many origin stories. But yes, if this was the X-Men Fire Bob origin story, sure.
yeah.
So
Bob.
I don't like being in burning buildings, but I've been in a few.
Duly noted.
Okay, so like it's one of those experiences. Waking up in a burning building is
my
really
God.
crazy.
Tell us about that.
Waking up on fire is really crazy.
Also tell
That's
us.
very crazy. So I had
What?
an ex who liked to smoke in bed. Yeah, she liked to smoke in bed. And her thing was to turn all the lights off, get into bed, get really snuggly, and then light a smoke. The most ass backwards possible way to smoke in bed. Like you sit on the edge of the bed with the ashtray in your hand, like maybe. No. So the time that I woke up on fire was actually quite simple. I was asleep, and she came to bed. She decided to have a smoke in bed. And while she was having a smoke in bed, she fell asleep. Like this. A cigarette drops out of her hand and lands right on my chest. I'm out cold. I wake up, I think I'm
What?
smelling bacon or something cooking, right? And then I realize it's me. And I'm like, ah! And I slap this burning embers on. I had this cigar, like cigarette-shaped scar between my man tits for like way too long. Really embarrassing. Like, you're in the locker room at school and people are like, what the hell's that? And you're like, what does it look like? It looks like you had a cigarette burn out of your chest. Yeah, I did. Oh yeah, So that sucked. She also lit the room on fire, but I caught that when I was coming from work, and I walked in, and she'd obviously just fallen asleep a few minutes before and dropped the cigarette on the floor.
Oh my God.
And the carpet right next to the bed, there's this chewy little fire, right around the cigarette butt. And I can see the cigarette butt still smoldering away in there as this fire starts to catch. So I walked really quietly right up to the fire right next to the bed, really quietly. And then I start stomping on the fire, so I go whoop, 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 and screaming, fire! She's like, ah! In bed, and I'm like, yeah, stop smoking in bed. You're going to kill everyone. Like, you obviously can't do this every time you do this. You burn me, you burn the house, you'll kill the pets. Like, what are you doing? She still smoked in bed. She never stopped. It was crazy. Now, waking up in a seriously burning building is once again thanks to drugs. Drugs, they're lots of fun, but stupid things can happen.
This episode brought to you by
Bad drugs, the letter D. The big letter D. So, I don't know if any of you have ever heard of a place called the Comfort Zone.
Yeah, I think
It's closed down now. In fact, the entire building is demolished. It used to also be a place called the Silver Dollar Lounge, which is right above the Comfort Zone. And the Comfort Zone was like the basement attaché to the Silver Dollar Room. So after the Silver Dollar Room closed, it was sort of like a booze camp, but they actually didn't sell liquor there most of the time. It was just, people baking out on whatever it is they've done all night long. So like 5 in the morning, just a bunch of people sketching out really hard on couches, like, oh, wish I hadn't done drugs all day.
Just a place to be.
Yeah, that's not like a Tim Hortons or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, now everyone just goes to Tim Hortons. If you've been to a Tim Hortons at 12:30 at night recently, you know exactly what I mean. It's like, that's exactly it. It looks almost the same. So high on LSD all day, drunk, partying for a couple days, showed up at the the spot to pass out for a while, just like kind of chill out, like, oh, enjoy the fucking ambiance, right? And I passed out pretty hard. I zoned out in the comfort zone. Surprise, surprise, right? I'm in this back room, and I wake up, and things look really different, And there's this guy in this Darth Vader-looking fucking suit going, what the, son, what are you doing in here? And I'm like, ah! And this wall behind him is just rippling, and it's all these amazing colors. And I'm like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I guess I'm rescuing you. Get out of here. I'm like, well, why, man? I paid my cover. He's like, no, the building is on fire. And I'm hearing this ringing and stuff, and I'm like, it's pretty loud. Yeah, and that's exactly right. one of our audience members just clued in. It's a fireman in full safety suppression gear with the mask and stuff on, right? And he's like, let's go. And I'm like walking through the smoke. I think it's fog machines. And I look over, and this whole wall is literally just on fire. And the bar behind it's on fire, and the carpets are burning, and the other couches across the room are on fire. And I'm the last person in there. And I was just napping through this like 4-alarm blaze, like, oh, yeah. As the building burns down around me. And this guy just happened to step into this back room, this little chill corner with a couple of couches in it, and take a look over and be like, holy shit, there's a dude over there. Otherwise, I would have roasted. I would have roasted for sure. I lost some hair. Like, I'm standing outside, like, the guy's like, do you need an ambulance and stuff? I'm like, no, man, no. I really don't want to talk to anyone else at all right now. Like, no authority. The cops are there, and some of my hair is singed, and I'm standing like, no, it's fine. Everything is just perfectly cool. I'm like jet black from the soot and stuff, right? And I'm like, no, it's fine. I'm fine. I'm just going to go.
Still tripping off acid.
Yeah, I'm like, my buddy's house isn't that far away. I'll just walk. It's cool. And they're like, yeah, I think you should probably see a medic. I'm like, nope, gotta go. And I'm just like bolting down this, Spadina, like, like
Still on fire.
yeah,
Smoke coming off.
trailing cinders out of the hair. Yeah, oh, it was weird. It was really weird. And the weird part is my friends who were there that night said they were in other parts of the building, like doing stuff. One guy was making out with this girl in the bathroom, and the fire alarm's down. He walked out and saw these flames and figured, oh, well, I guess we get out of here. So we left. And another friend was like buying a juice or something from the weird bartender lady who was really weird. Like, she was always weird. It's like, you sort of seem to wake her up out of a trance. She'd be looking right at you. You'd walk out and be like, hey, could I get a pop? And also just be like, what kind of pop? But like, you had to like bring her back in there, He's getting this juice and it goes off. She's like, oh, building's burning down. She just leaves. Like, she's gone, Right? And he's like, what the fuck? And he's like, looks around. Oh, yeah, there's some fire. I guess we should leave this building. I'm the only one. I'm like, where are my friends? I'll just wait for them right here. It's nice and warm in here.
Marge, turn the heat down. That's better.
Turn the air conditioning on. It's pretty hot in here, guys. Like, less fog machine, please. Like, oh.
You were just like, Rich, this fucking acid is really fucking good. The walls look like they're on fire.
And then it's like, some of the flames goes, I'm not Rich. He was never here. And I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah. But yeah, the cops did stop me as I was like trying to run down the street away from the scene. And they stopped me just to be like, no, you have to get looked at by someone. Like, you were the kid they pulled out of the burning building. Like, you just can't just walk away, like, all covered in soot and, like, smoldery hair. Like, you can't, like
I came from a fire.
Yeah, like, I'm just going to go to Burger King, get a couple chicken sandwiches, I'll be fine. That's all I need. I smoke inhalation, that's not a thing. Right? And they're like, no, seriously. So the medics gave me a clear bill of health, except for, like, again, like, cinders in my hair and looking kind of weird. And I was like, the one guy was like, you're pretty high, aren't you? And I'm just like... like, no. And he's like, okay, so I see why you tried to run away while you were like still on fire and stuff. Like, you're okay. It's okay. We're all okay. We'll make it home today. It's fine, right? So, fire.
We this reminds me of you. Remember when we were at your house not too long ago and we were on your patio and I'm gonna go ahead and say I was a hero. His apartment would have potentially burnt down if I didn't.
Would have
catch it.
potentially.
That was so quick.
Keep that in mind.
You wanna
Those are the terms
fill
that
him in
heroes
what
use
happened?
those.
Well, I don't know. Lars and I are
The
just out on
stupendous
the...
Superman, the almost potentially amazing Super Lars.
I don't know.
Thank you.
I feel like without him, something would have happened because we're just sitting on the balcony and all of a sudden we look over and someone catches the corner of our eye and Lars just like, he reacts in a way I've never seen him react before. But all of a sudden it became like a new side of Lars. He was just like, holy fuck. And he walks in, runs in. And I'm like, did someone just come through the door like bearing an axe and he's going to go like take them on or something?
Yeah, you
like,
had no idea what the fuck was going on.
what the fuck is going on?
Lars' hero mode active.
Yeah. And then
it was hard to see because we were getting the reflection from your sliding door on the patio. So like I kind of like squinted and saw something and then looked at you and then looked again. And
we
then
thought we heard something too. It was like
we did.
Like a or something like that. And so we run. I come in, and my side table is just like on fire. It's just like beside the couch. It's like got a magazine on it, and it's just like ablaze. And
why?
The lighter this lighter had spontaneously combusted.
Yeah.
It was like one of those non-Bic lighters, like the ones with the metal tops. And we took the metal top off, jacked up the flame. Left and
they were fucking around.
I think we had been holding
Spiders.
it. It was like being held on too long, so it was super hot, and it got left on top of the magazine, and literally
Flashed over.
just
next to the bong. So the fire department, when they were trying to, how did this happen?
Let's set this one up.
Smells
Rich,
like weed.
Rich lit himself on fire on my sofa one time while I was sitting right next to him, and I didn't notice for a little while.
And he didn't either.
Oh, he was plastered, blacked out like Rich does, like narcolepsy Rich, right? He's just out cold. And I'm playing computer games, right? And I'm literally, the monitor is here, and he's sitting behind the monitor on the other couch. So the television's over here, we're watching TV, and the monitor's between the two of us. And I'm sitting there playing video, and I start hearing this this noise. And it's, what the fuck is cooking? No one's here. So I finally, I'm like, so I sort of sit up from the couch, and it's a chaise. So it's really easy to fall into and not move, right? So I sit up and I kind of look around the monitor, and there's Richard with a cherry campfire in his lap. He's dropped a cigarette down between his leg and the sofa cushions. And the cushions have caught, and the little doily thing that hangs over the side of the sofa that always falls off and gets eaten by the dog, that one. It's charily burning away. His pants are on fire. So I look up and grab another cushion, and I'm like swatting him the fuck out on my sofa. He's like, "What are you doing, man? What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Dude, you're on fire on my couch, on fire." He's like, "No, man." I'm like, "Look at your pants." And like half the leg of one side of his crotch of his pants is burned away, like gone. You can see his underwear. I'm like, "Guy." He's like, "What did you do?" I'm like, "What do you mean, what did I do? You were on fire." So he leaves my house, and that would have been fine. But then my ex-wife got home, and I had to try and explain, no, Rich burst into flames on the couch, and she's like, "And you didn't notice this happening?" I'm like, "Well, no. I mean, he's sort of surprisingly destructive sometimes. Like, for a guy that's just a narcoleptic and asleep everywhere, it's amazing how often he can, really damage something, You'd think the passed out guy wouldn't do any harm. You are wrong.
And you're like, it was that guy, and he's just like...
I've also been killed by a stove, though. That's true, too. I know that the old gas stoves, lived in a co-op housing. And we had an old gas stove in our kitchen.
Yeah.
And smoking saved my life.
Wow.
Stupid story, but it's true. I turned the stove on just to heat up coffee. It was already in the pot, so I had one burner going on the stove. What I didn't know is that the element inside the oven itself had a slow leak and had been slowly filling up all night. And so I lit the burner on top, put the coffee pot on it, walked out in the back balcony for a cigarette, opened the back balcony door, stepped out, boom, behind me. I turned around, the door of the stove had blown off and crushed the little dinette set table. It was a tiny little kitchen, like an apartment, two-bedroom apartment kitchen, right? Just crushed this little table. The door's sticking out of the wall, and there's flames shooting out of my oven, and I'm like, wow. I'm really glad I wasn't in the kitchen, Like I used to my mom used to make me smoke outside, and I used to cut corners sometimes when she wasn't home and have one in the kitchen because it was cold or raining or something. Glad I'd obeyed the law that day because I would have been cut in half by my flying oven door.
Wow, obeying the law and smoking saved your life.
Fire. It'll get you.
That is a terrible story.
Listening to my mom and smoking cigarettes saved my life. Remember, kids, listen to your mom.
Well, listening to your mom is a
and smoke.
definite rule.
I got another fire/alcohol story. So I got buddies.
Fire's great for talking.
This is
It's
great. Yeah. When we pass the audience mic around, tell us about your alcohol/drug and fire. They don't mix. That's what we're
That's
learning.
exactly
They do.
Well, the problem is they mix
They
far
don't.
too often in negative ways.
Right.
So I have buddies in Timmins who are and the best way to describe these guys is if you've seen the show Letterkenny, they're fucking beauties, just like Letterkenny. All of them. They all have nicknames. They're all fucking the best. And it was May 24, I believe. I'm telling this third party. I was not there. Or as they say in Timmins, May Run. If you're a true northerner, it's not called May 24 up there. It's called May Run. So they're all out at a cottage at the end of a dirt road, way the fuck in butt-fuck nowhere, Timmins. And there's a bonfire and a bunch of beer and a bunch of booze and a bunch of everything, as you can imagine. And there happened to be, obviously, to get the fire going, they had a gas can
Of course they did.
that they had doused it in. But then someone made the mistake of keeping the gas can just a little too close to the fire. So it's there, heating up. A guy goes, "Oh, that's a little fucking too close to the fire." Walks over, gives it a nudge with his foot. The side of the plastic was already melted molten, so it fucking his foot goes just into the gas, which then fucking shoots up his leg. Immediately his fucking his leg is on fire in not a haha funny way, in a fucking fucked up way. They put it out, he rolls around, but they're all fucking drunk out there. So they're like, what do we do? What do we do? We got to get him in a truck. But he's like, he needs serious medical help, but they've all been drinking and partying. So they're like, we can't not fucking drive him. So if somebody gets in after having too many, drives down. It was like a cottage road, not like a cottage road, like private road, like a dirt road in the middle of the forest, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But called 911 to have a cop meet them there. And just had to end up doing it, like, but sort of probably knew the cop, so it was like, oh, it's just little Ricky. We gotta, like, we're not gonna, and they got him to safety and got him there, and it was kind of like hush hush on the fact that you just had to drive down a dirt road drunk to save your buddy, but what else were you gonna do?
Yeah.
And that's the way it was.
Not quite the same, but when weed was still legal, or illegal rather, and it was, we were panicky little, teenagers. My buddy's little brother filled his bong up with Sambuca. Because with heavy enough 40 proof alcohol,
Sambuca
you can actually smoke weed through the liquor, and the liquor will absorb some of the THC, and you can drink it later. It's very horrible. I mean, it's barf inducing.
Wait, you drink that after it's like bong?
Well, you clean your bong, and then you
Bong's
fill it with
Sambuca.
liquor, and you smoke a few sessions, and then you pour the shots out and drink them. Yeah, you can imagine that's not exactly the most appetizing thing. But this kid thought he was going to impress us by his knowledge of like how he can do this too, but he filled his bong up with fucking Sambuca, walks out, goes, and it just goes. And now, luckily, there's not that much in there, right? So he didn't get hurt, but it took his eyebrows off, and like he definitely had this like black ring around his face. It was very cartoon, like because literally just went. He's like, and the bowl shoots out of the thing. Like it's the bong is completely useless. Like all the the nozzles and shit are fried. He's just like standing there, and we're like. Yeah, he showed us, kid. He's like, "Want to show you the coolest thing, Bob? You got to see this. Check this out. This is what I did. My boys told me to do this at school." I'm like, "Oh yeah." It's like, "Watch this." I'm like, "Oh yeah." What I'm like, I'm like, "You're right. That was pretty good. You can do that again."
Nice.
He
What's
didn't
it
say
called?
anything.
Does it have a name?
No, because I never did it. So
You got any more fire stories? Audience fire stories? Oh, yeah. Brian Kennington in the house from Tink and Poo Productions.
He likes to pipe up
Long-time
with a
listener,
little
first-time talker.
fire story.
Yeah. Okay, this happened a long time ago.
When fire was legal.
When fire was legal. My mom and dad were away out west somewhere, so I was home alone. And I was only in my late teens. And this night for dinner, I had a craving for onion rings. So
You got out the old deep fryer,
I
right?
got no deep fryer, just a big
no.
pot, and filled it up with oil.
Oh.
Right.
And I wasn't really the brightest bulb back then. I didn't take home economics. So
No
I
doubt.
put a lid on the pot and turned it up high.
Ooh.
So I went back and looked at it, and the oil wasn't bubbling yet, so I added some more oil. Filled the pot up full, and I covered it with a lid. I came back about 10 minutes later. I lift up the lid, and this big, huge flame, about 5 feet,
Oh my
shoots
God.
out of the pot. Now, that wasn't all.
no doubt.
Right beside the stove was a sink.
How do you put
Yes,
out fire?
there was.
Of
Instead of
course.
covering it up,
Instinct.
water will put it out.
Of course.
So I take that pot and I put it in the sink, and
Oh.
I turn the tap on, and it was like Hiroshima.
Yeah. Right.
The thing woof, right up, big black flame, the whole ceiling went black, and the curtains caught fire, which were at the window above the sink.
Of course.
So I grabbed
Wow.
the curtains and pulled them down and put them on the floor and stomped them out. It was a good thing I was wearing shoes at the time, so I was able to stamp it out properly.
Yeah.
Of course, it had a big tile floor, big, huge mark in it. So my parents weren't coming home for 2 weeks. So what I did for 2 weeks, I got up in that ceiling with that steel wool, and I scrubbed that ceiling down, thinking my parents would not know anything had happened. And so my parents get home late at night. I'm in bed pretending I'm asleep. And I hear a knock on the door. Brian, did you have a fire? How did you know? Well, there's a big, huge black mark in the tile right in the middle of the kitchen floor.
And the curtains are gone.
And the curtains are gone. But it gave my mom a great excuse to get new kitchen cupboards, a new floor, and new paint jobs. So there you go.
Wow.
Wow,
That's
great thinking, Brian. Glad you
This-
made it through that.
This is going to sound fucked up, Brian, but the same exact thing happened in my childhood kitchen, except I didn't do it. I don't know, it was either my mom, dad, or brother were cooking, and I don't know if they threw water on it, but it lit up we lost the curtains and linoleum floor got burned, and she got to redo the whole kitchen afterwards. So it was like, I feel like that's a common story for sure.
What got me off the hook with Rich burning the couch was very similar. She wanted to make blooming onion. Had no fucking clue how to do that.
Fucking
Same
onion
thing. She put a
rings.
big pot of oil on the stove, got it super hot. Now onions are like 96% water, right? So if you don't batter them and let the batter dry properly, it's very, very moist. So she tossed this blooming onion into the stove. And of course, oil just blevies over onto the element, lights up. It's amazing. She's a spider in the bathroom. Woman screams like a banshee, like she wakes up the neighborhood. The kitchen is literally like this roaring bonfire, and all I get is, honey, from behind me. I turn around and look through the pass-through, and like I said, like you were talking about, the flames are licking at the ceiling, right? I'm like, oh, fuck. So I ran out and grabbed the fire extinguisher in the hallway. Again, because of my experience with fire, I have learned to read things like the safety tags.
Right.
And it's a bloody good
Smart.
thing I did. I take a look at this fucking thing, and it's an A. A means it's nothing more than compressed water in a cylinder. If I had walked in and sprayed this fire with that flame fire extinguisher, I would have blown my kitchen up. Like, absolutely. I mean, it was a cheery little flame as it was. Like, you know, when I say cheery little flame, it's like 5.5 feet tall, 3 feet wide, like roaring away in the kitchen there. Managed to turn the element off, managed to snuff it out a bit with a pot lid, and then put out the little residual gas fires with baking soda. Yeah. Remember that. Baking soda is like sand.
So you were learning here too.
We'd like to provide some educational tips from time to time.
Yeah, always check your fire extinguisher, because if your landlord is a scumbag, it'll just be compressed water. And if you use that on a grease fire, an electrical fire, or a chemical fire, you'll probably kill yourself.
Right.
That's just a
Right.
tip. Because grease fires will blevy. Basically, what that means is that the grease interacts with the water. The water instantly becomes vapor. The vapor carries the grease into the air, adds a lot more oxygen, and creates an explosive compound. That's what a blevy is. Boiling liquid expansion vapor explosion. Blevy.
Nailed it. Like kitchen napalm.
I
got
got a
Karim?
story with fire. Except
All right.
it's a small story because, well, I moved in Canada when I was 17, and then I started living by myself. At 17, you have no fucking idea how to cook.
Oh shit.
You could just YouTube it.
Nah.
That would lead to more fires, I think, actually.
So I don't remember what exactly I was cooking, but I had something in the oven, and my dumbass was playing Call of Duty in the living room.
Sure.
So it was like French fries or something stupid.
No, it
Pizza
was probably
pockets
like
or
exactly probably like pizza pockets.
Yeah.
Fish sticks, or
yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
So I've been playing Call of Duty, just playing and playing and playing, and out of like nowhere, I start smelling shit. I take my headphones off, and my fire alarm is blaring.
right.
So I run to the kitchen.
Those are
Open
good
the
headphones,
oven.
ladies and gentlemen. Right there, that's an endorsement for
Yeah,
good
yeah.
headphones.
Beats by Dre. Yeah.
So when I opened the oven, like there's smoke everywhere. Whatever I had in it was on fire. So I'm trying to get whatever is in the oven out of the oven. And the door of the oven decides to spring back up while my hand is still in the fucking oven.
Oh,
Good
fuck.
stuff.
So
Getting caught in a flaming bear
I
trap,
still have
anyone?
the scar till now.
no doubt.
Of
gee.
like the door of the oven coming back
'Cause
and
it was so hot.
slamming.
Yep.
Did your
slamming
hand
on it.
also hit the element at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I screamed like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
bad.
But yeah, I actually have a few fucked up stories with fire. But that's because I played with fire as a kid instead of.
You know what they
listening to my
say.
friends.
You play with fire.
Yeah, you get burned.
You're gonna
Fucking
not
get
play
burned.
with it later.
Like I think.
I think it was you
lot
play
of
with
guys
fire and chicks dig scars. I thought that was what it was.
Right. Yeah.
Trust me,
Karim.
no, they don't. I have a lot of them.
Is that? Never mind.
Have any of you? This is a question. Has any of you ever made a homemade flamethrower?
Yes.
Thank you. There we go.
Brian
Says the
Kennedy.
guy who burned down his house. Yes.
So-
Homemade. Oh, I've done
Like,
it with
yeah.
hairspray before.
Exactly. You
But
take
it
a
was-
lighter, home spray.
Oh, I did it against.
hairspray
I had
or,
an
like,
infestation
deodorant.
of ants. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
Yeah, I did it
I
for
did,
tent
yeah.
caterpillars in my backyard, but also because I was a little pyro as well. We're all
yeah,
fascinated by it.
exactly. As a kid, you always play with fire,
Right.
even if they tell you not to.
Do you know that coffee creamer is explosive?
Oh, God.
Powdered coffee creamer? Hilarious.
So tell us about your flamethrower.
Well, I definitely did the bug spray thing. That's
Right, you
definitely
did
for
that.
sure.
Yeah.
That's definitely for sure.
Bug spray, hairspray.
But-
yeah.
When I realized that, chemical flames are amazing. Coffee creamer. So you take a really long cardboard tube.
Like whitener? Like coffee?
Yeah, the powdered coffee
Yeah.
whitener. So what you do is you light a match, and you poke a little hole in your cardboard tube. Put your lit match through that. Let it sit there. And you fill the tube about halfway with coffee whitener, and then you just go in the other end of the tube. And as the stuff goes into a good puff, it ignites, and it really, really goes. In fact, you probably don't want to be holding it. It's a really stupid thing to do. I mean, that was one of those times again when I nearly set myself quite seriously on fire. Huge explosion of fire at the end of this tube that's 20 inches away from my face. If I would do it in retrospect again, I would do it at distance with a foot pump because that'd be fun. You just be a big column of fire. But it was 12 feet of explosive flames. Ridiculous.
Let's do it. Let's get a bunch of whitener and a foot pump and fucking
Awesome.
do it. Who wants to
Let's do
host
it.
that in their backyard tonight? Kennington's. Okay, we have a flamethrower story. We're back with Brian here.
Click the switch.
This is the story of how we burned down his shed.
Click the switch.
Got it.
There he is.
Okay.
Me and Brian, both Pisces.
That's right. This is a story being a cub leader, taking the little pukes up north for a camping trip.
He was a cub leader, by the way,
Trevor,
folks.
you.
So
were
all
one
you
of
little
those
pukes
kids.
out there, you know who you are.
I did that, not with you, but I did it.
Did you? Oh,
But
okay.
I didn't. You
Well-
were never my cub
Well, we
leader.
found out something. It's a
Thank
really good fire starter. We didn't have any kindling. We were trying to start a fire with the big logs. We found out cheesies.
Oh, yeah.
Great fire
Just
starter.
straight up chemicals.
Throw a bag, throw a cheesies in a fire. Holy shit, man! It's a big flame.
If you crush them first, it's worse.
No, I didn't do that. But you know what we did later on to put out the fire? The 24 little cubs formed a circle around the thing and pulled down their pants and pissed on the fire and put it out.
Wow.
And we wanted to take pictures and send it home to their moms, but we figured the moms wouldn't like that one.
Right, that's
But
amazing.
that was a highlight for the boys.
That's
and,
genius.
And they all got their flamethrower badge
Yes, they did,
at the
yes.
end of the trip.
and their fire prevention badge.
Right. Right.
Excellent. That's
Yeah,
excellent.
I've just
Who
got
else?
singeing. I got my buddy. Shout out to McNabb. He's gonna love this story because my mom was like, I want to get the barbecue started, and he's like, oh, I can do that, no problem.
Oh, nice.
And it just wasn't kicking over, and it was a propane one, right? And he's just like cling, 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 hitting that igniter, and it was just like, I don't know what's wrong with it, and clangs it again last time, just poof, fireball. He lost his eyebrows. He did like when he did a Matrix where he was just like, whoa, came right back, but it was too late. It just singed like the front of his face.
I feel
That's
like,
for you, yeah, McNabb. That's for you, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like those categories: sleeping while smoking, oil fires in your kitchen, and that one
Barbecue
or, like,
lighting.
barbecue where you don't clear the gas are like top 3 out of 5 ways to burn yourself down.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like everyone
Yeah,
listening has
the
done one of those
the
three.
worst injuries you would get though are fucking grease fires though. They
Right.
really are because boiling oil is it's terrifying. Like my girl works in a kitchen, and she got like a 2nd degree burn from a kid pulled one of the did fish and chips at the restaurant, pulled a slab of fish out of the fryer and lost it with the tongs, and it fell in the back of her hand.
Oh,
And just that long. She shook it off. So imagine flap. Oh,
still
she
burning.
shakes it off. Huge blister right away. I mean that's horrifying. You know.
Any other fire stories? Have we run the gamut? Oh, back to Karim from
Fire
Cifer Pics. Shout out to Karim.
Fire
He's our-
starters.
also our video editor, audio editor.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say the same
yeah,
thing.
that's a
It's all
very
guys.
interesting theory. Yeah.
We have ladies in the audience, but none of them have fire stories.
So-
Okay, so never
oh,
mind.
back. Okay,
Lori
we're
has-
coming back to Lori after. Go ahead, Karim.
Oh no, mine was very similar to the one that happened to your
My girlfriend. Yeah.
girlfriend, because I still have the scar for that one too. And my mom was making.
Cheek steak skill.
And mine are always related to fucking food. Anyways, my mom was making I think
Play with food, you're gonna get burned.
fried fish, and I was fucking hungry, so I wanted to get to the food. Except she was cooking, she had no idea what was behind her.
Nice.
She turned around with oil in a pot.
You reached into a
Oh,
boiling
No,
hot pot.
like she turned around. I was behind her. She bumped into me. Oil gun into my hands. And I still have that scar too.
Wow. Shout out to Karim's mom.
Well, she's a doctor. That's why I
It's okay.
You were in
was
good
like, oh,
hands
fuck.
immediately.
She can burn him because she can treat him.
exactly.
It's
pretty
like my
much.
dad said, if you're going to kick the door, at least you know how to fix it. You know, same thing. Kid, it's fine. I'm a doctor.
She immediately performed a skin graft on him and saved him.
I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me.
All right, we got Lori here.
Lori!
You can follow her at.
Lori Tiana.
Yeah,
There it is.
plug. Flawless.
It's spelled Mpina, and it's Lori with a Y.
There you go. Nailed it.
So my fire stories always have to do with food because I love to eat a lot of food. I was born like a big fat turkey.
You and Karim
and I
could
still
burn
weighed
each
a
other for
lot.
years.
I have big muscles, and so I was at camp when I was little, and I always loved to go camping because my parents never let me sleep over. And it was like an all-girls camp. It was so much fun, and we had like little powwows. And there was like this big, like giant fire that they would make at camps, and we would do s'mores. And then I don't know why I was so like stupid. I just put the s'more in the fire, and it was on fire, and I was like, "Oh, guys, look, it's so cool! It's like on fire." And everyone's like, "Yeah," I had a higher pitched voice at the time because I didn't go through puberty, but I just flinged it like this, and it landed on my forehead. And I was like screaming, and the camp counselors are like, "Oh my god!" And then I was like, they were like hitting me in the head.
You
like,
mean it landed on your s'more head?
my s'more
Boom! I
head.
nailed that one. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Went
That
to
was
a-
terrible.
Went
All right, Lars is getting the friendship cactus now.
That's it. Yeah. S'more head. Yeah. Ding, ding, ding.
That's life telling you right away. Like, don't fling the flaming stick around.
That's amazing.
Look,
Or
no,
else-
no s'more of that.
That's going to make the episode, by the way. That
I
visual.
gave myself the friendship cactus.
So what did you do? I missed that. What happened? What did you say?
I said no s'more of that.
How many s'more puns can we make?
How many s'more?
No s'more? Bam! No s'more puns.
No s'more. They have no s'more Dos Equis.
Yeah.
Bring me
anything?
Dos something else.
Give it up for
Is bottle like?
This is Mina in the house.
Hey,
Everyone here
Mina,
at
what's
1830.
up? Thank you for
Mina,
being
aka Ariana
Yeah, it's
Grande.
fine.
If you're wondering who Mina is actually Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande works here on Mondays now.
Yeah, she's under the name.
She goes by Mina, just keep it on the DL, but that's Ariana Grande.
That's how we could probably get a lot more people to come out.
right? Yeah. If you want to
And
come.
Ariana Grande gets the cactus of friendship.
It's more people
Nailed
to come
it.
out.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're gonna keep going with that s'more thing.
Is there more s'more? I want to know more s'more.
Is there any s'more to this story?
just like
4 s'more and 7 years ago.
Yeah, just like I just have like one small quick story, but then even though at that camp I'm like known for getting myself like into a lot of like accidents, there's a picture of me in like the medical room. So if I go back now, I have like a young picture. I'm like notoriously known for that, but obviously they don't know who I am. Like
It's brilliant.
I was swimming under the dock. I
You're
was
the
chasing a
accident
dog,
girl.
and I have a huge scar because it cracked open when I hit my head, and I had to go
Nice.
get stitches. Like I have so many scars from.
Yes, usually when your
stupid
face
things.
encounters timber at reasonable velocity, it cracks open.
Yeah.
You made the camp pamphlet where it says like fully staffed with the medical clinic, and you're
We
like the
gave you
girl being
cactus of
treated.
friendship
Yeah.
for bringing the beers here. It was awesome. Thank you.
She missed it.
Well, I'll tell you, she does not want the cactus.
And
Not everyone wants the cactus of friendship.
Everyone wants the cactus of friendship. It's flowering.
It's a centerpiece that she's gonna have to reset.
Yeah.
At the end
Did you
of the
just
night.
say that?
All right. We should. We got. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah. Just
Let us know. Is there more fire?
Lori,
If you have more
are you
fire,
rolling?
we're
Are you
getting-
rolling with
we're
it?
almost on the
Yeah,
home
just
stretch
last
here.
one
We got to turn
fire
the corner.
story.
Let's do it.
Because again, I love to eat a lot of food. I came home from high school one day and I asked my mom if she could make me something. She's like, no. So I was like, okay. And then I go into the fridge, get bread, but instead of putting it in the toaster, I want it to be fancy and have it in the oven because it tastes differently.
Sure does.
Right.
It really does.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does. Because in
totally.
the oven, in the oven, you burn the shit out of it, and it tastes really different.
Right?
Yeah, it gets golden brown. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So I put it in the oven. It was just bread and butter. That was like
That's great.
It was good.
100%.
I
I'm
had
in.
2 slices and I was like, no, you need more. So then I put it and I crank it up to 450. Then
Right.
instead of
Because she
using,
wanted
like,
it
the
now.
tongue, right? Instead of using my tongue to like flip over the bread, I used my hands.
Sure.
And then I touched the bread, and it was really hot, and I go like this.
Oh.
And then you touch the element.
Yeah, and
And
Yes,
touch
you
the element,
did.
and you still have the lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I-
right
I
on your
don't-
hand.
I don't play with fire anymore or ovens. I wear gloves now.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
My
great.
best friend got a really bad burn off the lights around Vanity. You know those little bulb lights that like super bright like makeup lights? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were fucking around in the bathroom just like, playing in the mirror, like drawing things on our face with my stepmom's makeup, which is really great because she loved that. And then he reached over and touched the light. And the light bulb blew up, one, because you're not supposed to touch those. And two, his skin fried green. Green! Right away, just like, psst. And we had this like stupid kid joke about like fried green skin and whatever. It was pretty funny. I was like laughing pretty hard about that. And my stepmom was like, that's not funny at all. Like, and she fucked up half my makeup. And so I was like burnt child in my bathroom. Like, what the fuck is this,
Classic comedy right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Burnt child in the bathroom. I had a roommate. Actually, we're great fire stories. This is a secondhand fire story. It's a good one. And similar to like the barbecue story you were telling about the guys at the cottage. These guys were, these guys were selling hash over the summer. They just got to Toronto. They're both like 20 years old. They're from the East Coast. They just got to Toronto. They were selling hash over the summer to pay for their rent. And this was like, in the early 70s. And they got this batch of hash that was just amazing. And so they were smoking hash bots in the apartment. And they both fell asleep, and the candles burned down on the cupboard.
Right.
Lit the curtains on fire. And my buddy remembers waking up, and the record player, this should date this. The record player was still spinning, but the record was on fire. So like it was like kind of melt. So it's like, it's like.
Does he remember the song or what album it was?
No,
It's a great
but they were both
badass.
so fried they couldn't get off the couch and ended up getting pulled out of the apartment by neighbors and firemen. Like they're just
Right.
sitting there watching the apartment burn down around them, like, "Whoa, man, it's pretty wild, dude."
We'll be fine.
It's like there's playing a record backwards and there's playing a record on fire. Like that's hardcore. You know what I mean? You want to trance the devil, light that shit up.
Yeah.
Speaking of lighting shit up, I think we lit shit up tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was, but yeah.
At least it wasn't
yeah.
gummy bears again.
Right.
'cause-
Yeah. Hit us up at 39DD Show on Instagram. You can watch full video episodes on YouTube. You can check us out on Facebook, or you can come down here live every Monday night where we do it, and you can listen to the crazy stories. This is one of my favorite episodes. Fire stories? Fuck yeah. What's the lesson?
And we
The lesson is fire makes great stories, but don't burn yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Kids, play safe, okay?
and don't tell the suspected arson ones.
No s'more fires.
Yes, no s'more fires. Oh.